Hi, these comments are for EK. This is Michael from BetterTOEFLScores.com. Hope you're having a great day today. And I'm listening to a practice test, a speaking practice test you sent me a couple of days ago, and I am from Better TOEFL Scores. So let's see how you're doing with your speaking practice. Okay, let's go to the email. You say, please review my speaking responses to these questions. I didn't send any recordings for your review yesterday. I combined both yesterday and today's recordings in this email. Don't do that. You can only send me one speaking practice test every 24 hours. That is the rule. Whether you do a practice test on a certain day or not, you can't combine. It just makes me way too busy. All right, so and it's okay if you don't send me a practice test one day, no problem. Okay, let's do. But today I'm going to make an exception. But now you know the rule, right? Okay, number one, it says recently it's very difficult for students to use the internet for study as it has become hard to find study resources on the internet. Do you agree or disagree with the following statement? Okay, so. And let's get back to the independent speaking rubrics here. Let's see how you did on this one.
I definitely disagree with the above mentioned statement because when I use the internet, there is no exertion needed and I always find information easily. I just have to type my topic of interest in the search bar and click search.
What topic of interest? So that's when you want to get more specific.
With that, I get multiple results about my topic.
Okay.
Moreover, I get to...
Do you have an example to illustrate that point? You might say, for example, in my college history class, we were studying about World War II and specifically the causes of World War II. So I wanted to learn more about the topic, and I went to Google and I typed in the term causes of World War II. And I found several different websites that had exhaustive or extensive research in this area. And because I used that resource, I was able to get a very in-depth knowledge of that topic, and I scored much higher on my test consequently.
Choose if I want to review the information in form of written text, video, audio, or images. For example, when I was completing my pharmacology homework, I came across a
This is good right here.
question to list the side effects of analgesic medication.
Good, yes.
I didn't know how to answer this question. Fortunately, I had a good internet access and I read and understood from the internet that Tylenol causes stomach pain, itching, and after prolonged use, it can cause liver damage. With this, I scored highly on my homework, which raised my grade. Therefore, I feel students can easily find study resources on the internet.
Okay, so you actually did give a good example there, so that's good. So let's take a look. Because I'm always looking, a lot of students get a 3 because of this. It says overall development is limited, usually lacks elaboration or specificity, but you did that. Okay, what's your score here? I think overall you have a nicely organized response along with a specific supporting detail in there to help explain your ideas. You had, I think, some minor issues with delivery. Sometimes you have to be careful with your pacing. As you're explaining your ideas, you can do a little bit better in two areas. I think intonation and also thought groups and blending. Those are two areas I think you can improve upon. You can check out, if you go over to my online TOEFL course, you can learn more about intonation by going to pronunciation lessons 36 through 40. In addition, you can learn about thought groups and blending, aka pacing, by going to pronunciation lessons 41 through 44. Your score here, I'm going to put you at 23 to 25 points out of 30 on this practice test, mainly because of some problems with pacing and also tone. So some delivery issues. Let's take a look at question 2 here. When some people read a novel, they complete it while others read it halfway and stop. What would you prefer? See, this is kind of a strange question. Why would anybody prefer to do something halfway? I don't get it. I mean, if you're going to start something, you should finish it. I don't think there's a preference with this. Now, some people don't read it the whole way. They don't finish the novel, but they probably don't prefer to do that. They would rather finish it, but they, for whatever reason, get distracted and don't want to keep going and so on. And all right, well, let's see how you did with this one. Let me get back to the speaking rubrics here. Let's see how we did. So your last response was around 23 to 25 points. So let's see if you can overcome some of those delivery issues here.
When I read a novel, I definitely prefer to complete it. First, reading novels is educative. For instance,
reading a novel is educational. I think it's more common to use educational, not educative.
I've been reading a novel entitled Jack the Giant Slayer. I've learned a lot and improved my English language skills enormously.
Okay, this is good. So you know how to give those examples. Let's go again.
First, reading novels is educative. For instance, I've been reading a novel entitled Jack the Giant Slayer. I've learned a lot and improved my English language skills enormously, especially
I would say, and I improved my English skills, maybe you might say as a result or consequently, to create that cause-effect type relationship.
my reading and writing. Second, reading a novel keeps me occupied and absorbed in the book in my free time. Hence,
Okay, I'm not getting everything you're saying there. Let me go back.
I've learned a lot and improved my English language skills enormously, especially my reading and writing. Second, reading a novel keeps me occupied and absorbed in the book in my free time.
Keeps me occupied, and I didn't quite get everything you're saying there.
Hence keeping me out of tribulation. Unfortunately, some of my peers spend their free time with the wrong company, ultimately learning precarious habits like illegitimate drug use. Case in point, my cousin started using cocaine when he made friends with a gang in our precinct. As a result, they were all arrested and the judge called for punitive measures against them.
Okay.
This would have been my narrative if I had not engrossed myself in reading novels.
Now, the only problem here is you want to try to keep these speaking tasks down to 45 seconds instead of 60. The integrated tasks, on the other hand, allow you 60 seconds to complete them. So keep that in mind.
Because of these reasons, when I read a novel, I'll always complete it.
Okay, I got it. And I have you figured out, right? It didn't take that long. I'm going to say the same thing, 23 to 25 points on this practice test. My opinion is pretty simple with you right now. So I know that you got to run 23 on the TOEFL exam. Focus more on accent reduction right now. You understand how to organize and develop your responses. You figured it out. You know how to give the details. You have pretty good control over your grammar and your vocabulary. So I'm not really worried about that. I think you're in pretty good shape there. However, sometimes it's difficult to understand what you're saying. And even your intelligibility is sometimes affected because of your pronunciation issues. So that's even putting you into the 2 range. However, you're doing very well in your language use and topic development areas, and that's probably why you're scoring around 23 on the TOEFL. Each week, if you do speaking practice, I would get more feedback with me with your pronunciation than with your speaking. So if you can do maybe, how about 3 pronunciation voice recordings each week, you can send those to me for evaluation. Keep those to 60 seconds, limited to 60 seconds. And then 2 practices each week you can focus on speaking. So that way I can help you more with your pronunciation, which I think is going to give you the best You're going to make the most progress if you improve your pronunciation. That's my opinion right now. You can think about it. So that means maybe you can do speaking practice a couple times a week, then 3 or 4 times a week do the pronunciation practice. I think that's the key. I really believe that. All right, thank you.